This fan-run podcast is brought to you by DraftKings.
DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, giving new customers a can't-miss offer. New customers can bet just $1 on any NFL game and win $100 in free bets if either team scores a point. The last 0-0 tie in the NFL was 1943, so folks, this is a no-brainer. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code FANRUN in all caps and bet just $1 on any NFL game and win $100 in free bets if either team scores a point. That's promo code FANRUN in all caps this week at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older in Tennessee only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text the Tennessee Red Line, 1-800-889-9789.
Out to present the show that the fans deserve.
I'd consider myself a realist, all right, but in philosophical terms, I'm what's called a pessimist.
The show that the city needs.
This town deserves a better class of sports radio. And we're going to give it to them.
This is Talk Sports.
Leave one wolf alive, and the sheep are never safe.
Back in the booth, back on the airwaves, coming at you live from the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios. John Reed, Cam Black, Draven Fine, Hayden Wallen. As we kick off your week, it's Monday, October 11th. As this year just keeps blowing by.
Yeah, it does.
It's Victory Monday. We don't get very many of these where we're all undefeated in here. Love to see it.
Hey.
No one's sad. Everyone's happy. 2 thumbs up from Hayden. Cam, how are you?
I'm doing well. Victory Monday. Those are good. Back at it again. Never a doubt, Believed in all of y'all. So.
You get a little scared whenever the Jets cut to 3 with like 6.5 minutes left?
No.
Not even a little bit?
No. We own that city, so
don't lie.
No, you can feel it. Trust me. You can feel it. I've seen it plenty of times. You know when it's happening. It wasn't happening yesterday.
Even after Mike Davis fumble, I was like, oh God. I was like, here we go.
That wasn't great, but yeah. Played sloppy, still got the win. I'll take it.
Good for you. Vols win, Cowboys win, Titans win.
How about it? Clean sweep.
Everything's good over here.
Just also a great sports weekend, man. What a great sports weekend. That was the best college football Saturday I can remember in a long time.
It always feels special when Alabama loses, right?
Maybe that's what it is.
You don't get many of those, so when they do lose in a regular season weekend, it makes it feel better than it was.
Oh, absolutely.
Although Iowa, Penn State was a dramatic, I don't know if I'd call it a good game, but a dramatic top 5 matchup.
Yeah.
What else at 3:30? Georgia choked out Auburn. Mm-hmm. Noon was pretty good. Arkansas
Noon games are great.
Texas, Oklahoma,
yeah. So it seemed like everything delivered. How about Jimbo Fisher? How about Texas A&M? It's kind of funny to me that this was the year they beat them.
Oh, I know.
The year they have no shot still at the playoffs.
Right. The year they had lost twice already, and it's I don't want to call it an insignificant win because now Jimbo gets to say as the first assistant that took down Saban.
Yeah.
The golf thing that Saban had said back to him. Whenever Jimbo said they were going to beat him, he's like, what, golf? They were able to kind of troll there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Texas A&M got to storm the field. We got do you listen to the Alabama radio call?
I did not.
You guys see that?
Complete silence.
It was pretty good. I kind of liked it better that way. It was just you lined up for the
too,
kick,
yeah.
and then just never say anything. And you could hear the crowd going crazy.
I think that's, because you could tell what happened because he never, like you said, never said if it was good or not, but you could tell. You knew.
They sat there for about 40 seconds. Is the scoring drive. 6 plays, however many yards.
Well, he also was like, well, this team's going to get fined $250,000. And that was the first thing he said. It's okay. That's what matters here.
That's funny.
That's what made
I
me
thought
think.
he missed it when he kicked it.
Oof, it looked like it was pushing left, didn't it? My goodness. It
whipped
looked like it was going left.
Divine intervention pulled that thing back.
Well, it's cool seeing the kicker's family out there. Did you guys see them out there celebrating, going crazy?
I guess that was his girlfriend that hopped the
I assumed that,
hopped the fence. His wife.
She got tackled.
Fiance.
I was wondering about that because she was probably the first one on the field. I feel like the first one always get tackled.
I don't think she'd have been the first, but she'd have been a part of it, though. She was up there pretty quickly. Surely she didn't lead the movement.
I've always wanted to rush a field.
Rushing the field looks so overrated, man. People are toppling over each other. You're getting tackled. You're getting stomped on. If you hit the ground, it probably gets ugly, man. If you're on the ground, you're probably getting just completely stomped on by hundreds of people. Like, no. Storming the field looks completely overrated.
Did you see the girl that got absolutely trucked by one of the cops that was escorting Saban out?
Yeah. Yeah.
She got absolutely trucked. That phone went flying. That phone ended up like 8 feet away from her.
See, that's stuff that happens. She wasn't trying to get in Saban's way. Chaos. She wasn't trying to do that. She's just wrong place, wrong time.
That seems like lots of chaos. I love it. Love it.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll ever get to storm the field again.
I know. I tried to convince people back in 2013 when we beat South Carolina.
Well, see, that's the problem, though. Like, I mean, I think the only time we would ever do it is if when we beat Alabama for the first time, if it's to end the streak and like they're really good and we win some type of class.
Tried to convince people in Florida when we ended Florida.
Say what?
So when we ended Florida, I thought that was a good opportunity.
They weren't ranked, though.
No.
Yeah, they were ranked. They were towards the back. I think Tennessee was ranked higher. See, that's always going to be the problem. Is like he trying to get us to storm the field against South Carolina. I mean, that would have been embarrassing. Tennessee storms the field for beating South Carolina.
Top 10 team at the time, though. And
man,
it's South Carolina.
I just wanted to rush the field.
Who cares? UMass is storming the field after beating UConn. Like,
well, they're doing it ironically.
Storms the field.
They're doing it ironically because they just never win anything.
Yeah.
Like, I think we'll do it if we beat Alabama, especially if it's the streak ender.
I think they'll do it if they beat Georgia this year. Number 1 team in the country?
Maybe. Like Tennessee's in a weird spot because I mean, like I said, you pride yourself still on as a power. Can you picture like other like historic powers rushing the field? And Tennessee considers themselves that. Yeah, I know we have fallen on hard times, Daddy, but like, could you ever see a scenario where Georgia storms the field for beating Tennessee? Someone you deem as an equal.
Who did LSU storm for a couple years ago?
I don't even remember them storming the field. Was it Alabama? I mean,
they stormed for somebody because I remember my brother was out there.
It had to be Alabama, right? Like, who else would it be?
I can't remember. Yeah.
I mean, a Florida team that would have been ranked highly, but I don't think there's been one of those recently. So I don't know. It's a weird feeling. Like Texas A&M, they deserve that because they hadn't beaten Alabama. Like Alabama's like one of the only teams that could still get almost everybody to do.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I would have been so embarrassed if you guys would have stormed the field against South Carolina.
I just wanted to do it.
I would have been so embarrassed. Like, really? South Carolina guys? Which is what I was saying on Saturday because credit to I haven't seen anybody really point it out, but the best part of the weekend, at least for Tennessee as far as I was concerned, was the Shane Beamer picture going crazy when it was 38-7. Did anybody do a side-by-side of Frank?
Yeah.
Holding his hands up for a 0-0 tie, like to go into overtime.
It's like against Wake Forest, wasn't it? Yeah.
That's all I kept thinking about was how they both have just really poorly timed screen grabs.
Never quit. Never give up. That's what they're preaching.
I mean, I get it. You're a first-year coach. You are trying to set a culture, but man, like he was going wild on silent, and it's 38-7.
What even happened? Did they get a stop? Is that what it was?
Or turnover or something. I don't even know either. Like I was watching when it happened, but I was like, I don't even remember. Maybe they got a stop. Force the punt.
LSU rushed against Georgia in 2018. That's who it was.
Yeah, I have some storming the field stats for the SEC, John.
Uh-oh.
For the last time everybody has. So Alabama hasn't. Arkansas.
Would ours have been 98 against Florida? That's the last time I remember it.
Let me see. Yep.
Unless you count the Oregon rain delay when everyone just like took over the field.
Yeah, Florida 98.
We ain't rushed the field in 23 years.
No. South Carolina, it says 2001 against Alabama. Ole Miss 2014 against Alabama.
South Carolina didn't do it against Alabama when Garcia cooked them?
I guess not.
Huh.
Look at them.
LSU, yeah, I can't said that already. 2014 against Ole Miss.
Well, 2018 against Georgia, they did that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was the one I remember.
But Georgia's is 2000, 21-10 win against Tennessee.
2000?
Yeah.
That would have been when Tennessee, was, of course, at the top of their game.
Yeah.
And they were trying to, catch up and pretty far behind in the series, I would say.
And they lost 9 straight to Tennessee.
Yeah. Yeah, there has to be a streak, although I guess we're getting close to – I guess we're not that close to Georgia being at 9 because we beat them in, 16?
Yeah.
So this will be just 4 years in a row. Okay.
Beating us pretty bad, though. In those years. 2017 was 41-0.
Sure. There hasn't been any close calls, really. I guess in 2018 you somewhat had a 2-score game in the fourth quarter, I believe, and they ended up still beating you by 25 or 26.
Had to lead at halftime last year.
It's true.
Had to lead at halftime. Goal line stand. Who cares about that, man? Who cares about that? Let's talk about the Vols now, baby. Let's talk about the Vols
That's what I
now,
was gonna
John.
transition to, is
Come
people
on.
are getting excited.
What are we talking
and,
about?
looking at Georgia coming here, controlling it all, and you control your own destiny. Alabama looks beatable.
Okay, well.
Georgia's defense, you can maybe get one out over on them. Who knows? Everyone's riding high here. The Vols, as good as you felt in a while. 2 straight wins. The Ole Miss line comes out. People start betting the Vols. It opened at 4.5. It ended up at 3 so far, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tied for the highest total ever.
Is it tied for the highest total ever?
I saw it was 79.5, and that's what Alabama and Ole Miss was.
When it first came out, it came out like 84.5.
Yeah,
I don't know if that was like
I
don't know if that was a mistake or if it got quickly corrected because the big bet came in.
Jeez, that's crazy.
But here we are.
Here we are.
Biggest week of the year so far. Maybe the biggest week of the year in general. If Tennessee wins this one, you'll feel pretty good about yourselves where you're at.
I feel great about beating Ole Miss. I don't know about you guys. What, Hayden? What's that? Here we go. Here's negative Hayden coming out again. Let's hear it. Oh, Kiffin's offense. Yeah, right, man.
Ole Miss's defense is pretty terrible.
They're terrible.
Man.
They're terrible. We can move the ball. And I think our defense flying around. What do we have, 10 tackles for loss against South Carolina? 4 sacks?
SEC Player of the Week, Brandon Turnage.
How about that?
Whoever the hell that is.
Yeah, I was like, what position?
That's the guy who transferred
From Alabama, right? Yeah.
Is that the defensive
Yeah.
back?
Yeah.
Okay.
He played because
Theo Jackson was out,
yeah,
right?
I think that's right.
Yeah.
Somebody was out.
I would imagine he'll keep playing.
Sounds like it.
Well, I think he was like a 4 or 5 star at Alabama.
Yeah, sure.
Obviously.
But, I mean, he hadn't, made a impact so far. And then, hadn't even gotten a game, right? I mean, they said this kind of his first action. Got here. All right. Now he's SEC Player of the Week. I mean, yeah, he was a 4-star prospect, number 102 in terms of where he was ranked. So
14 tackles.
2 for loss, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Tennessee's defense has been better than, we thought they were going to be.
I still don't think they're great, but at least they're flying around, man. I mean, they are. They're all over the field. They're going hard, and you gotta love to see that.
Tim Banks doing a really good job with this defense. Rodney Garner doing a really good job with the defensive line.
And I was watching the game. I was at the game out there, and I could have missed it, but it seems like Mitchell's not playing very much. Seems like
he was
Banks and
I want to say Mitchell was
Beasley.
a healthy scratch.
Yeah, he was
2
out
weeks ago against Missouri. I'm not even
Seems
sure
so
if
weird.
Are we sure he even played against South Carolina?
I didn't see him out there. I see
Juwan Mitchell?
Beasley
No,
and
he was.
Banks.
They
out
said he
again,
was
right?
out for injury.
Okay.
Yeah, he didn't play at all.
I thought so.
I don't even think he dressed or anything. No.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's.
We don't need him, man. We got Aaron Beasley hopping on fumbles. Let's go.
I'm not even sure it's injury related either. With him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This is not that good.
Just just stuff at practice and just kind of.
It just seemed like it's weird. You middle linebacker at 0 tackles the first game of the season. Like, how did that even happen?
Yeah, I mean he wasn't good when he was on the field. I mean there's part of the reason why. Part of the reason why Pittsburgh was just in the middle of the field, nonstop, whipping your ass. Big win for Tennessee. Back-to-back blowouts in the SEC. Josh Heupel's offense flexing its muscle in the first quarter. What a performance.
It is impressive.
Some pretty
That's all-
designs.
I was gonna say that's all coaching, right? Too, just coming out scripted. Probably first 2 drives, pretty much, just going right down the field, big plays. Like, I think that is a lot of Josh Heupel. I do also think halftime adjustments is a lot of Josh Heupel, and we've still not played great in the second half.
Yeah, I'm not going to be too upset about
I'm not either. I don't
want to
do that, but
on Saturday just because you were
was it 38-7 at halftime?
up so big. It's hard to keep that focus and keep that energy, especially South Carolina didn't lay down. It was different than Missouri. You could tell Missouri didn't want to be there. They didn't want to be there the whole entire time. South Carolina just kind of outmanned. But it didn't seem like they quit, so they were able to kind of somewhat hang around in the game.
But then again, pretty much every second half we've been kind of bad. Like Pitt, Florida, now this game. I don't know. I just think against Ole Miss, if it's 2-score game, we're up at halftime, whatever, that's great. But we know how quick they can score. We know how quick this offense can run.
It does seem like Tennessee is a first-half team.
Yeah.
Which is, I love the fast starts. 28 points in a first quarter. That's ridiculous. Back-to-back weeks, right? Back-to-back weeks?
Yep. Yep. Against Missouri, you could have scored 100.
Yeah.
I maintain that. If you would have wanted, you could have scored 100. And Josh Heupel's offense looking good, and it's doing what you hoped it would do, especially in year one, which is just beat up on the lower-tier SEC teams.
Yep.
Don't give them much of a hope. Don't give them any real optimism heading late into the game.
Yep.
Again, credit to South Carolina for not quitting, but it was domination from Tennessee. And now they get to they're set to have maybe their biggest atmosphere and biggest game of the year on Saturday.
It's also completely shifted the conversation from can this team make a bowl game to now can we win 9 games, 8 games, 9 games now? We feel like a bowl game's pretty much locked up at this point, right? With pretty two guaranteed wins, South Alabama, Vandy later in the season.
Yeah,
feels like we're just striving for more now.
Yeah, it seems like 6 would almost be a disappointment at this point. People are going to want to beat Kentucky. People are going to want that.
They look good, though.
That was another board bet win, right?
Did we board bet that?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me, man? I knew we made some board bet. I thought it was NFL, though.
No, you said it was your lock of the week.
Did I say it was my lock of the week? My God, LSU is so bad. They are so bad. They are terrible.
I was really.
That was embarrassing. What an embarrassing performance.
Like I said, they've quit. That's why the whole team. The whole team's put on.
Oh my God!
I can't believe the Lions only
Fire that idiot.
Chalk up another board bet win for me. We're off and running in the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios. 16 deliciously refreshing flavors. It's a big week. Got my big tailgate set up on Saturday for the Ole Miss game. Going to have it stocked with some White Claw. 5% alcohol, only 1 gram of sugar, and only 100 calories. It won't weigh you down. Please drink responsibly. Cam, send us a break. We'll come back. We'll dive into the NFL. Stick with us to talk sports on Fan Run Radio. Back on the program. Another NFL week in the books. Man, Chiefs.
Oof.
They're in trouble, right? They stink, right?
Yeah, they're in danger.
You can win games with a average defense, even a below average defense. They might be the worst defense in the NFL. They couldn't stop anything Buffalo was doing, anything. Maybe if they get Chris Jones back, is he that big of a impact where maybe they can stop the run a little bit more with that guy? Because it's not like they got guys out. Other than that, that's the only guy really hurt on that defense.
I think they're missing their top corner too, but
I don't even think it's all the defense either. I think the offense is kind of broken as well.
Yeah, and they haven't been as efficient as we're used to seeing.
I think I don't know who I'm giving the spot to right now, but I don't think Mahomes is number 1 anymore.
Easy.
I don't know
Neither interception was really Mahomes' fault. Tell me if I'm wrong. Him dropping the ball and the game's already over. Speaking of dropping the ball, we didn't talk about that in the break, but Mahomes dropping the snap, that was probably his fault. Both picks, catch the ball, Tyreek Hill.
It doesn't
catch the ball, McCole Hardman. There was drops all over the place.
It doesn't matter if Tyreek Hill catches that pass and gets tackled and it's 4th and 3 and they're punting. I guess it would have kept the scoreboard, but they were stuck in the mud. Their offense is broken.
He did not look sharp.
I don't know how many times we had to watch him throw the ball at people's feet down the field.
That was rough. Yeah, he was missing some throws.
I'm not even just talking about just the turnovers. There were 3 of them, which has been, a huge difference for Mahomes. They have turned the ball over a lot.
11 times this year, most in the NFL, tied with the Jets.
8 times in their last 2 home games as well, 4 each.
Jeez.
I want to say that's 11. I want to say that's without having a turnover in the first game.
Jeez.
So they've done it 11 times in 4 games.
That combined with their defense, you're not gonna win many games.
The last four games, they are -9 in the turnover battle.
Jeez. Yeah, wow. I won't win you much.
Again, this isn't that new of a development. Since week 10 last year, they had a bye week last year. Since week 10, they have thrown 13 interceptions in 14 games. Mahomes is not taking care of the ball.
Jeez.
And that's without even like adding in some fumbles from other guys.
Right.
13 interceptions in his last 14 games. They at one point felt invincible, and then they played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were like, hey, let's bring back the Tampa 2. Let's play this 2 deep safety over here. Let's keep everything in front of us. Let's make Mahomes dink and dunk. And it turns out maybe Mahomes doesn't have the patience or the accuracy to dink and dunk.
I was literally just going to say the Bills blitz Patrick Mahomes on just one of 63 dropbacks. They only blitz one time.
So
play coverage, 4 rushers, pretty much the whole entire time. And the Chiefs had one play of 20-plus yards.
So they did actually blitz once because...
They blitzed one time out of the, 63 dropbacks.
Okay, the numbers I saw last night said they didn't blitz at all.
Really?
They didn't blitz any. So
That's what Phil Yates tweeted. So.
Okay, they must have found one somewhere where they blitzed. So, I mean, they just dropped back, played man-to-man, kept two deep safeties, said you're not going to let Kelsey get open in the middle of the field, and Hill's not going to beat us deep. Good luck, and the Chiefs could not do anything with it. I don't know if Buffalo is the best defense in the NFL, but so far they have been.
Yep.
They hadn't really played anybody before last night, and then they passed their test. The Bills might be the best team in the NFL.
Man.
I still didn't feel like Josh Allen played great. If you just look at like his completion percentage, I felt like he left some throws out there, but they hit the deep plays. He was running around making.
He's hurdling people. How about that hurdle, man?
It was nice.
That's pretty impressive.
It was. I was happy to see him make that hurdle because I thought he might have died on that roughing the passer that extended the drive and kept them from throwing an interception that would really make that game a little interesting.
Yep.
The refs were pretty brutal last night.
I didn't have that big of a problem with the roughing the passer simply because they had butchered that holding call.
Right before it, yeah.
I didn't have too big of a problem with it, and Frank Clark is an idiot, and Frank Clark did try to drive his body weight on him. I do wish every quarterback could get that call. I don't know how many times I have to watch my quarterback get drilled. They're killing Tannehill out there. He ain't got one roughing the passing call all year. But with Josh Allen, I mean, it was roughing the passer in 2021. But then he went right down the field methodically and put a drive together. Ended the game. 54 attempts for 272 yards is not good for Mahomes. That's bad. For someone that's supposed to be, able to take tops off defense, throw the ball 80 yards, and has all these speedy guys, they were not able to get anybody down the field.
Yeah, seems like defenses have kind of figured them out to an extent.
Is that what this is? Is it figuring out, or is it just maybe just early season struggles? Because kind of feels like teams are starting to figure it out. Like we said, no, just don't blitz. Just let them play. Let them throw it underneath.
Every team's playing the same style of coverage on them now, it seems like.
And they're old and worn down, like I said they were in the offseason. Whenever you go deep in the playoffs 3 years in a row, it takes a toll on you physically, and I think it takes a toll on you mentally. You finally started seeing the mental cracks last night when you had Tyrann Mathieu basically like, oh, everyone's playing so hard against us, everyone wants to beat us.
Oh, really?
That was his reasoning last night, was that they get everyone's best shot because they want the Kansas City glory that they've had the last couple
NFL,
years.
man. You're going to get everybody's best shot. What is he talking about?
I mean, I think there's some truth to it. Like, they are everyone's Super Bowl. Like, they are the litmus test. Like, they are the measuring stick in terms of the Bills want to beat them. The Ravens want to beat them. The Chargers want to beat them. The 3 teams they've lost to this year all, really want to beat them, either for divisional reasons or because, the Chiefs have beat them up the last couple of years. The Ravens hadn't beaten them yet. The Bills had been embarrassed the last 2 times they played them last year. So I do think there's some truth to that. Don't you?
I guess. But it also, I think, is the reason the Chiefs are kind of bad is because they do have this kind of mindset like, oh, everybody's after us. Oh, we're the top dog. Like, I mean, you talked about it. Matthew was kind of saying that after the game, like, oh, everybody's coming after us. It's like, you didn't even win the Super Bowl last year. It's not like you're the best team coming off a defending Super Bowl championship. Like, it's just, you think this team would be a little bit more hungry instead of thinking like, oh, yeah, other teams just want it more than us. It's like, well, you didn't really do anything last year. You went to AFC Championship game or in a Super Bowl and lost. Like, I just expected more of a, hunger from this team.
Well, I think you saw it with the Bucs as well. I mean, obviously they wanted to win a Super Bowl, but that defense took it personally with the taunting of Tyreek Hill and all of that. They knew that this team has been cocky and living, very brashly, and there are going to be teams lining up to try to humble them. Now, we'll see if the Chiefs are able to bounce back. I still think they're a playoff team. I do think they're in real trouble for that division, though, having already lost, at home to the Chargers.
Yep.
I still think they can win the division.
No, they still can.
It's hard to completely. Yeah, I was gonna say it's hard to completely just get rid of them just because you know what they're capable of.
Yeah, it could all start clicking again, but.
Well, they get the Washington football team this weekend, so that's a good way to get your offense healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And then they play the Titans week after that. So I mean, like two teams that, quite frankly, both of them will probably be shootouts. We'll see. Both teams that they play at Washington, at Tennessee, both on the road, but both kind of needing wins to kind of keep rolling, especially the Titans, who are going to have to run them through the Bills and the Titans.
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
And then 2 weeks later after that, play the Rams. So the Titans getting ready to head to a pretty brutal part of their schedule. The Chiefs can figure it out, but, man, their defense, it's kind of wild that their defense has given up 163 points. 163.
Yeah, I think there's a stat they've given up, was it 29 plus in the first 5 games? And that's like the first time anybody's done that in NFL history.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't
giving
see
up
that.
20, I believe it's 29 plus points in the first 5 games of the season.
The 163 points the Chiefs have given up is the worst in the AFC. It is also the worst in the entire NFL. 163. Meanwhile, on the flip side, like who do we make that game last night more about, the Bills or the Chiefs? Because we're talking about the Chiefs, and we didn't talk about the Bills who just came through and smacked them around.
Yeah, for me, it was more about the Bills because you kind of talked about it. Like, they hadn't really played anybody up to this point, and everybody was kind of using this as the litmus test on if they were going to be legit or not. And I think they did take that game more serious than the Chiefs. I think it meant more to them, at least, than it probably did to the Chiefs. And, yeah, they went out and handled business.
Well, that seems problematic if it mattered more because the Chiefs kind of need to get back on track. Now, maybe they're doing this thing where they think they can flip a switch and that, hey, it's a long season. We don't need to burn out early. And it does. You know, we talked about the Bills, Ravens, and Chargers all needing to beat them.
Mm-hmm.
The Bills, on the flip side, have a league best plus 108 point differential.
Wow. A lot of blowouts against those bad teams, but still.
I mean, blew out the Chiefs, too, though.
And go look at the Bills' schedule. You said they play the Titans next. After that, the next 3 games, Dolphins at home, at the Jags, and Jets at home, or at the Jets. Like, if they beat the Titans, I mean, they could easily win the next 3 after that. And then, I mean, you get the Colts at home after that.
Bills feel like they're in the driver's seat right now for the 1 seed in the AFC. Again, they have a plus 108 point differential. The next closest, the Cardinals at 62. Then I believe the Cowboys at 53 would be the 3rd highest.
Are you buying the Bills? Because you've been kind of doubting them a little bit, just based on their schedule, all that.
Well, the thing is, I'm not sold on Josh Allen being like, I don't know, like with Josh Allen, I wanted to see it because, it was one big year where I thought there was a lot of dropped interceptions. And you have seen it with Mahomes, right? Like Mahomes had been benefiting from dropped interceptions. They've been catching his this year.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's been a little, maybe even unlucky with some balls going off people's hands, but the turnovers have caught up to him. So far, they haven't caught up to Allen. I still don't feel like he's been playing great though. Like even last night, I know he had some deep passes, especially on some busted coverages to Knox and Stephon Diggs. But I mean, Allen is a monster when he runs. You have seen kind of the regression a little bit from him though, in terms of you've had him finally maybe peak when it comes to his accuracy. He's not getting better like he was, for the 3 straight prior years. Like last year, I felt was a little unsustainable. He was at 69% completion percentage.
Mm-hmm.
This year, it's gone back to more kind of what I thought he'd be, 62%. But he still isn't really turning the ball over. So I buy the Bills. The Bills are the class of the AFC right now. I still don't know if you can ride that guy to a Super Bowl though. I do feel like in the playoffs, like he's going to do something dumb. Even last night, you saw after that fumble, he takes that 20-yard sack where he's running backwards. He's good for 1 or 2 of those.
Knocking him out of field goal range. He did that in the damn playoffs a couple years ago against the Texans.
Ago. Yeah, he did it last year against the Colts too. And he fumbled.
Oh, yeah,
the
forgot
Bills
about
happened
that.
to fall on the ball.
Mm-hmm.
He could have fumbled and lost in the game. But no, they are the class of the AFC. They might be the class of the NFL right now. So the Bills are fine. The Bills are good. They are not going to struggle as a team, and like you said with the schedule, they should coast now to 12 wins at least,
if not more. I mean, the division's pretty easy. New England maybe put up a little bit of a fight, but
We'll just call it a letdown game on the road next week against the Titans. We'll give them an L, even though I'm not predicting that they're favored. But I'm just saying, even if they were to lose that game, which would be understandable, like you said, Dolphins, Jags, Jets, Colts, that should be 4 straight wins there. 8-2. Let's just say they lose in New Orleans on Sunday night or Thursday night. I guess it's Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Patriots at Bucks. I mean, I guess maybe they split that. Then they get Panthers at Patriots, Falcons, Jets. I mean, they should coast to 12 or 13 wins. And with the tiebreaker over the Chiefs, probably going to be good enough for the 1 seed. Although there are a couple teams that are going to try to keep pace. The Chargers keep winning.
Mm-hmm.
The Ravens, and we'll see if they could be 4-1 tonight. Should be 4-1 tonight. Touchdown favorites. We'll look around the rest of the league after the break. It's Talk Sports on Fan Run Radio.
3 new flavors of White Claw Hard Seltzer have arrived: strawberry, blackberry, and pineapple. Whether you choose ripe strawberry, tart blackberry, or tropical pineapple, each one of these exciting new flavors offer a refreshing twist on your favorite hard seltzer. Available in a brand new White Claw variety pack, every 12-ounce can of White Claw Hard Seltzer contains 100 calories, 5% alcohol, and 2 grams of sugar. Discover new White Claw flavors at your favorite retailer today. Please drink responsibly.
Back on the program, got a little breaking Tennessee news. We were talking about Juwan Mitchell. It has been announced he is out for the year. Shoulder surgery. And also that Josh Heupel believes that his injured group of players will all be back. Cooper Mays, Theo Jackson, Jabari Small. So it looks like Tennessee getting healthy at the right time.
Mm-hmm. That's huge.
Small, Evans, Mays, and Theo Jackson all expected to be available according to Josh Heupel. So Tennessee getting some much-needed help.
Theo Jackson in, this Turnage guy. Seems like a pretty good combo. I mean, Theo Jackson's been our best player, defensive player, right? Through the first of the season.
Yep, feels good. Tennessee's getting healthy. They're going to need all hands on deck. I think if you poll people right now, people are expecting to win. Now, I think there's some potential there to come crashing back down to earth, but I do think that Ole Miss's defense is going to give Tennessee some points. How many points does Tennessee need? That will be the question that we will talk about all week. But as we get back to what the weekend was in the NFL, what else stood out to you? A shootout in Los Angeles, the Chargers and Browns.
Yeah, that was wild.
That was a great game.
Not expecting that.
Chargers legit or no? I kind of think the Browns are just kind of a little overrated. Like, I mean, the defense, I said it. They're best defense in the NFL. And then what do? They give up 47 points.
I wasn't going to point out that you called them the best defense of the NFL. Which
it wasn't just me, by the way. It wasn't just me. There's a lot of people kind of looking at that Browns defense as a legit defense.
You're the only person I talked to that called them the best defense in the NFL. This is the second defense in a row that you have jinxed. You called the Dolphins one of the 3 best defenses in the league. And right now, I believe they rank 30th in defense in the league.
They just gave up 45 points to Tom Brady going up and down the field.
I believe they are the third worst defense in the league after you had, anointed them as the 3rd best. You call the Browns the best defense, and then they give up
26 points in the 4th quarter is what they give up. 26 points in the 4th quarter. Like, how does that happen? This isn't college football. How does that happen? How do you give up 26 points in a quarter and still score 15 yourself?
I believe that 3 of those went to Austin Eckler as well. I believe he became
he was
one of the, I want to say 2 or 3 players of all time to score 3 fourth quarter
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, he had the screen pass. He had the touchdown. They forced him in. Basically, the Browns did.
I didn't understand why they handed the ball off to Eckler if that's what they were trying to do. I would have thought you just would have taken 2 knees there and kicked a field goal.
Just kick a field goal, right?
That's what I thought you would have done if you were. Because, I mean, he obviously went down to try to run some clock out, and I didn't understand why they didn't just take knees at that point and kick a chip shot field goal. Although, with the way kickers were kicking yesterday, maybe it was just a better idea just to go ahead and score.
Crazy.
I had to be like, what, story of the day? What do we have, 10 plus? Missed extra points and missed kicks. I think that was the first time ever since they moved the extra point back to the 33-yard field goal range, whatever.
Yeah, I want to say we had 12 total.
Jeez. I couldn't imagine having a terrible kicker.
Yeah, first time in the same week we had missed
There were
10
12
plus field goals and 10 plus
Yeah.
extra points as
12
well.
missed field goals and 12 missed extra points heading into Sunday Night Football. I don't think there were any misses last night in that. But
No.
yeah, that's the first time you've had a double digit of both.
The Packers-Bengals game. How about that? How about that crazy ending?
Good for Mason Crosby.
The guy's hit a lot of clutch kicks in his career. I don't think this was hurting him or anything, missing those kicks.
I was happy he was able to come back and get a kick.
Feel really bad for, was it McPherson who thought he made it? He missed it? Like, how does that happen?
It wasn't just him. He had 6 teammates jumping on him, too. Like, I don't understand why they thought that was good. But back to the Chargers, they do have a quarterback with a beautiful deep ball, although it did seem like some of those were just wide open, busted coverages.
Yeah.
Did seem like every time he was throwing it deep, there'd be Mike Williams and nobody within 20 yards of him. He was kind of like, why the hell is he so wide open? But they also have, I think, maybe the actual best young coach in the league.
Yep.
You all in on Staley?
Yeah, I'm all in on Staley. Staley's
wow. Is it just the aggressiveness? They're going for it on fourth downs constantly?
Yep, that's it.
Because what they had, I want to say, 4th and 10, 4th and 9, down like early third quarter, went for it around their own, around the Browns' 40-yard line again, just continuing this whole aggressiveness.
And in the third quarter, it was 4th and 2 on their own 24-yard line.
Yeah, that was it too, yeah.
At the beginning of the third quarter. There was 11 minutes left in the third quarter, and he went for it on 4th and 2 from his own 24, and that's just the quickest way to my heart.
And I think it's he realizes that even though he's a defensive guy, their defense is not great. That was right after the Browns went straight down the field.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was right after the Nick Chubb 50-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, it seems like their defense is going to be pretty susceptible to running. Although, they were going up against the best running team in the league, so, I don't know if anybody else, except, strangely enough, they play the Ravens next week, so the Ravens might be able to kind of run the ball on them like that as well. But outside of them, there's not many teams who are going to be able to line up and run the ball on them. Mm-hmm. But he's just been hitting the right buttons all year long with the fourth down calls, and he gives them an advantage. I thought it was a good head-to-head matchup between him and Stefanski. It's just one of them had Herbert and the other had Baker Mayfield, and I don't think Baker Mayfield.
I was going to say, that's the difference, right? Because what stood out to me for Stefanski, 3rd and 10, you're up by 1 point. I believe it was 42-41 at that point. There's still over 2 minutes left. And 3rd and 10, no kidding, they run the football.
Yeah,
they run the football. And then they punt it. And it's not like they're giving good field position or anything. They literally punted from their own, inside the 20. Chargers got the ball, midfield. All they needed was a field goal. It was over at that point. And I think that just shows, like you said, Staley, 4th down, trust Herbert. Stefanski with Baker, even though he had a great game, still couldn't even trust him when it really mattered.
He had a great statistical game. It's just some of the stuff he just looks off on. He
did have a QBR of 53.
Yeah,
compared to Herbert's 84.
He looks just off on some things. Now there were some busted plays. They hit the long pass to Njoku. The stats look a little better. But that's one of those games that if you watch the game, you could tell. One guy is a top 6 or 7 quarterback, and the other guy's perfectly average.
Yeah.
Is it the shoulder, you think? Or is it just Baker?
Him.
Nope, I think it's just Baker. I think it was the same thing last year. I just think they have a good run game, and they were good in play action. And if they are drop back passing, he is not very good. They still can't get on board with Odell Beckham. He had 2 catches for 20 yards.
It's hard to say all this when you scored 42 points.
No, that's fine. And again, it's one of those that you look. And again, you would think you score that many points, you would have a better QBR than 53. But I just think he's been pretty average this year. I'm not calling him bad by any means. That's him being average still makes him the best Browns quarterback of my lifetime probably. But he's not a number 1 overall pick talent. He's just not that. Especially when you look at who he was drafted ahead of. Josh Allen, clearly number 1 talent.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson, clearly number 1 overall talent. Baker's not those guys. He's better than Sam Darnold and Josh Rosen. But he ain't better than Josh Allen. He ain't better than Lamar Jackson. Can you still win, 10 or 11 games with Baker Mayfield? Yes. Can still win your division, still make the playoffs, do whatever you want. But, he's one of those guys I do not feel like is going to, elevate the Browns in the playoffs. He's not winning, going deep in the playoffs. You're not going to feel like you have an advantage over anybody in the playoffs at the quarterback position. Is that fair to say? In the AFC, if you have Baker Mayfield, if a Browns fan was wanting to fight me about Tannehill, I'd say whatever. I'll take Tannehill, but that's the one guy you look at and say, okay, maybe he's better than. Again, I don't think so. I don't think anybody who watches thinks so. But he's definitely not going to outduel Josh Allen or Mahomes. Hell, he might not even be better than Joe Burrow at this point. I don't know.
It'd be close. Like, I think you could make an argument for.
He's not better than Herbert. We'll see, like, who actually ends up getting in the AFC. But, yeah, I thought that was a fun game. The Chargers win again. The Browns take over their stadium again. It doesn't seem to matter to the Chargers. They're just going to keep lining up and winning.
It's a road game every week, baby. Road Warriors.
I like their home games because it feels like a neutral site, like both guys just cheering really loud. Like, it just seems like a loud, fun game.
Yeah. It's pretty impressive for the Chargers. This schedule's been kind of brutal. Like, really, when you look at it, they've played how many playoff teams here in the first 5 weeks of the season?
They've had what? The Chiefs,
the Washington football team, which is, a playoff team last year. I know they haven't been good, but they're a playoff team week 1.
Cowboys. See, I would flip a flop. I'd say the Cowboys are a playoff team and Washington's not a playoff team.
Right.
If I was looking at it that way. I know what last year said, but the Cowboys are a playoff team this year.
And they had Chiefs, Browns, Raiders in there as well.
Yeah.
And then you got to turn around and play the Ravens right after all that.
No, it's been a pretty tough schedule, and they have navigated it well so far. And like I said, I think they got the best young coach in the NFL. The guy's a stud.
Let's maybe pump the brakes a little bit on that. Like, you start missing.
Who the hell else is going to be? Kingsbury? If you want to call it Kingsbury, that's fine. But, like, he's better than Shanahan. I'll tell you that much.
I'll say this, though. The fourth downs, like, they look good when you're getting them, but as soon as you don't get them, you're going to pull the old Lane Kiffin and look really stupid when you're getting blown out by a team that's just better when you're still trying to be aggressive.
You gotta trust the process. You gotta trust the numbers, and you can't.
That's fine. They're converting them. That's great. They're doing a great job of that. Fine. But I'm just saying, as soon as they stop converting them, miss a couple, that's what's going to look really bad. It's a risky play.
Not with me. Not with me. You can't always play the result. You got to play the process, and he is building up a lot of equity with people that he knows what he's doing, and we'll be okay if he misses a couple. It might cost him a game, and who knows? Maybe it'll cost him a playoff game. But the overall body of work for me has been really impressive with him.
After this Ravens game, their schedule is so easy. They play the Patriots, Eagles, Vikings, Steelers. They play the Broncos. That'll be a tough game. Bengals, Giants, Chiefs, Texans.
Nothing you're reading makes sense right now because I don't know if the Bengals are an easy game or a tough game. They're flying around making some plays.
Their offense is tough to stop. I think Joe Burrow's pretty good.
I mean, you say that, but they scored 22 points.
Probably should have had 25, I guess. I mean,
sure, but like they scored 22 points. They got shot in the third quarter. They scored 8 points in the fourth quarter. Like, their offense it has some good skill position players. Like, Jamar Chase is good, but like
Joe Mixon's also kind of hurt.
I mean, that's fine, but like again, they scored 22 points against. Like, I don't think any of us are writing about the Packers being some shutdown defense, especially without Jair Alexander. And like Burrow threw one of the worst interceptions you'll ever see.
What the hell was that? What the hell was that? I don't even know who was he throwing it to the little
his throat was
hitch route?
His throat was bruised, man. He couldn't breathe. He lost oxygen to his brain. He didn't know what he was doing.
Was that from the play where he dove for the first down and just got absolutely pummeled?
I don't know. I thought that was like his insides. Like, I don't know, but he has to start taking better care of himself. Like,
what does he do? Yeah, come on, man. It's week 5. Like, it's not a playoff game. It's week 5, buddy. Diving for a first down, like.
Although I will say, again, that was kind of the same thing that like the Packers brought a lot of fans to Cincinnati, and the Bengals fans that were there allowed. It was another one of those neutral site games that seemed pretty fun. But I don't know if the Bengals are an easy game or a tough game because they seem to have some guys on defense. They're flying around making some plays. Mm-hmm. They really just had one bad quarter in the second quarter that kind of cost them that game. But they seem fine. They might get to 8 wins. That might be a loss I take. I really needed the Packers to beat them yesterday, though. On a brutal picks day in terms of my not my board bets, but my win pool. I need the Packers to really prop me up. Needed that. Double whammy with our over-under on the Bengals win total as well. Broncos-Steelers, also a game that got a little crazy in the fourth quarter as the Broncos almost came back. They fall short. Bridgewater gets stopped on 4th and goal.
Big Ben's back.
Is that it?
He's back.
Is that how he feels? Is this more about the Steelers being able to win, or is it about the Broncos maybe being, okay, that was a cute little first 3 weeks and you're playing nobody, but you're not that good?
Yeah, they're not that good. But also, I mean, Steelers, if they can just run the football, they won't be that bad of a team. Like, they ran for, 147 yards?
23 carries, $122, and a touchdown from Najee Harris.
Yeah, and it feels like it kind of opens everything else up. You saw Chase Claypool getting open down the field a couple big plays for him.
They're going to need him.
Yeah, Juju out the season.
Yeah.
T.J. Watt was also back yesterday. Did he play last week too?
Yeah, he did.
He
did he?
play last week too?
He played against the Packers.
I know he was out week 3.
Yeah, he played against the Packers last week. I mean, it feels like if that was another 15-minute game, the Broncos would have came back and won. It seemed like Pittsburgh was completely out of gas, like their offense had gone in the toilet the last 20 minutes of the game, basically. They did go down and get the drive, I guess. That got them a field goal to put them up by 8. But I don't think that changes anything I feel about Pittsburgh. It just maybe changes what I feel about the Broncos in terms of that was a wasted opportunity.
Yeah.
Overrated.
It was a wasted opportunity. Now they get a big game on Sunday against the Raiders, as both teams going to need a win. Mm-hmm. The Raiders yesterday looked like somebody who hates their head coach for the racial things he said in an email. It looks like they were ready to cancel him.
No way you fire him, right? Just because of the contract, the buyout situation, all that. There's no way you fire this guy.
As always, you could probably try to get out of the contract by saying this is something that changes. There's always a moral clause in there that could change things. Oh, it was unveiled that our coach made some racist remarks about the president of the Players Association. Is that who it was?
It was the
guy who just got
I was going to say he was going to be stepping down and then got reelected for another. I think it was just another term.
So I think you could have something in your clause to be like, yeah, no, that's a scandal.
Yeah, this doesn't align with our viewpoints of our organization.
And almost every contract has that out in it, that you can't just be like a despicable human. They're going to try to get Urban Meyer with it for dancing on a woman and groping her. You definitely could get something with. We uncovered that he is a racist. Although, whatever. John Gruden tried to deflect pretty quickly. I wasn't in a good headspace. Mm-hmm. I also said some bad things about Roger Goodell, he said, as he tried to distract you from calling a black man rubber lips, which, yeah, I don't know. But that's a big game for the Raiders and the Broncos this upcoming week, as the Raiders looked bad.
We gonna talk about them, or are we just gonna keep avoiding them? How about the Cowboys, John? Come on, man.
What about them?
Yeah, just 24-point blowout, 4 straight wins, and the best offense in the NFL.
I thought they were going to have to try to find Eli or Tiki Barber to get them to come dress up the way. The Giants had no bodies at the end of the game, right?
Okay.
No, they did
yeah,
not.
they had some injuries. Unfortunate. It happens. Every team has to deal with it. Oh well.
I didn't know if that was noteworthy. Again, they lost their starting quarterback, their starting running back. They had their 3 top receivers down. Mm-hmm. I will say it was a pretty good breakout performance for Kadarius Toney. They finally started getting him the ball.
Oh, that's your takeaway?
He was pretty good.
That's your takeaway?
Tony made Diggs look foolish a couple of times. Tony looks pretty good. He looked bigger than I thought, too. I thought of him
I thought that as well.
I thought of him as more as a small, slot receiver, but he looked like just a good number 1 receiver.
Yeah, he looked really good till he threw a punch and got kicked out. Yeah, well, maybe not the best character on the guy, but either way.
Joe Judge said he didn't want his guys to fight.
Can we just agree though? Best offense of the NFL. This is as unbiased as a take as I've ever had. This is the best offense in the NFL. I'm serious. All joking aside, you guys can say what you want, but man, there's so many different ways this team can beat you. John, the Cowboys. I'm telling you, think about all these different weapons, man. Are you kidding me? Quarterback's not good enough.
Quarterback can't hold onto the ball.
He had a rough first quarter, but other than that, there's not a whole lot you could say about his second half. He was awesome. Pretty much the rest of the game, just a bad first quarter. Maybe a little nervous. Maybe a little, maybe a little nervous from the injury last year. Same team, same situation.
A good old 41 on the QBR.
The Cowboys are now 28-0. By the 41. Way, 28-0 when they run it more than they throw it. 28-0.
Yes,
when we can run the football, which we have one of the best running attacks in the NFL. Listen, okay.
What?
The
skill players are great. The quarterback's holding them back.
All right.
41 on the QBR.
He had a rough first quarter. He did. What about the other dimes? What about the dime to CeeDee Lamb? What about the beautiful throw in a tight window to Amari Cooper? The throw down the sideline to Seth Wilson. Get out of here.
It was a big win over a team that lost their starting quarterback. Their starting running back on the first play of the game.
I didn't see them lose anybody defense. I'm not talking about the Giants offense right now. We're talking about the Giants defense, which is supposed to be decent. A little above average, I would say. We have our starting tackle out, by the way, as well. We have our starting tackle suspended. Can't really use that as much of an excuse.
Well, I mean,
We also have a receiver.
steroids are two different things.
We also have a receiver out as well.
Injury
if you want to throw that in there. I'm just saying. Tell me an offense that's better at this point. It's not Kansas City. I watched Kansas City last night. It's not them. It's not those Arizona Cardinals who could only score 17 points against the Niners when Trey Lance can't even get a first down on 4th and 1. It's not them. Tell you that much. Maybe Buffalo. Am I making an argument for Buffalo? I don't know. John's over here saying Josh Allen still hasn't looked that great.
I think Josh Allen has room to improve. I think that's fair. I mean,
Dak has room to improve. I would agree with that.
He has a lot of room
but he
to
also
improve.
has been really good. He's also been really good.
No, Dak has not been really good. The rest of the guys
other
been good.
than him,
Zeke looks great.
Other than him dropping the snap, which Mahomes did as well, mistakes happen, and him throwing an intercepted pass that got tipped up in the air. What else?
Mahomes didn't look good.
What else? What did Dak do that made you say it was a bad performance overall?
People that gave him a 41 QBR. Take it up with them.
I get it. Fumble, interception.
I get it.
Them. No, I get it. That's fine.
They look good. We'll see what they do. They keep it rolling. I mean, I'm all in on them. I believe in them. Going to the Patriots, Cowboys are rolling. Let's go.
No, just go ahead and bet the Patriots for me, please.
Bills, Cowboys, Super Bowl is my official pick right now.
Just go ahead. No, don't say that.
Cowboys,
don't
Bills.
say that. The guy that can't get an NFL pick right. Don't put that on my Cowboys. Don't you do that. No.
I had a better NFL week than you did.
Huh?
I had a better NFL week than you did.
What are you talking about?
Picks wise.
What'd you go?
2 and 4. You went what? 1 and 3.
1, 3, and 1. Excuse me.
1 and 3.
1, 3, and 1. Okay, but through 5 weeks, how much am I beating you by? Through 5 weeks?
Doesn't matter. It depends if you count my
Let's
fade.
see
Like I said
here.
last week when I was 6 and 1.
I am 14, 10, and 1. John is 9 and 20. Cam is 7 and 20.
I have been awful.
Got my lock though. Right? Got my lock. Can only make you laugh.
Bills, Cowboys, Super Bowl. Hour 1 of Talk Sports is brought to you by the book at Harris Cherokee. Some Monday Night Football. Take a little vacation up the road to Harris Cherokee. The book offers a large 90-foot screen. Just one big game, so I guess I'll have some MLB baseball playoffs going on as well. We got the Braves getting ready to get set.
Yeah.
First pitch coming up at the top of the hour. Their 3 private fan caves are the ultimate way to experience game day with your friends. Fan caves offer guests a massive 85-inch TV plus 2 43-inch 4K TVs and convenient access to betting stations. We appreciate them for their support. Hour 2 coming up after the break. It's Talk Sports on Fan Run Radio.
Your pet is an important part of your family, and when he or she is ill, you want the best medical care available. The vets and staff at